It was a night that began like any other in the quiet suburbs of Ventura County, California. The air was still, the streets nearly deserted, and most families were winding down for the evening, unaware that something unthinkable was about to unfold. For one young woman, this ordinary night would become a turning point, a moment that would forever alter the course of her life. As she walked home, a sense of unease crept in, but nothing could have prepared her for what was about to happen. In the shadows of Ventura County, she was suddenly and violently assaulted. The attack was swift and brutal, shattering her sense of safety in her own neighborhood. Summoning every ounce of courage, she fought back against her attacker. Through sheer determination and willpower, she managed to escape and immediately sought help, reporting the crime to the police despite her fear and shock. At the hospital, a sexual assault kit was carefully collected. Every swab, every sample, every piece of evidence was gathered with the hope that one day it might reveal the identity of the person who had done this to her. But in 1994, forensic science was still in its infancy. DNA technology was limited, and the tools available to investigators were far less advanced than what we have today. Still, the evidence was preserved, a silent promise that justice might one day be served. The survivor endured not only the trauma of the assault itself, but also the invasive and often painful process of evidence collection. She placed her trust in the system, hoping that her bravery would not be in vain. Detectives pored over the case, following every lead and examining every detail. But with limited technology and few clues, the investigation soon hit a dead end. The case went cold, leaving more questions than answers. The sexual assault kit, filled with the hope of justice, was sealed and placed on a shelf in the evidence room. There it would remain, untouched, as the years slowly passed by. For the survivor, the hope for closure and justice became a distant light, something she longed for but began to doubt she would ever see. The kit, sealed and silent, held the key to the truth. It waited, untouched, a silent witness to a crime that demanded answers. Years would pass before anyone would open it again, before science would finally catch up to the promise of justice. The case faded from the headlines, replaced by new stories and new tragedies. But for those involved, the memory never faded. The pain, the questions, and the hope for answers remained. The story was far from over. In the shadows, the truth waited to be revealed, and the search for justice was only just beginning. Years turned into decades, each day blurring into the next as the world moved on. For most, the events of that night faded into distant memory, but for one person, the pain remained as sharp as ever. The trauma of that night never faded for the survivor. Every morning brought a reminder of what was lost, and every night was haunted by unanswered questions and memories that refused to fade. The case file gathered dust, one of thousands of cold cases across the country. It sat on a forgotten shelf, a silent testament to the lives forever changed and the justice left undone. Untested sexual assault kits piled up in evidence rooms nationwide, each representing a missed chance for justice. Each box held a story, a plea for answers, and a hope that someone someday would care enough to listen. Limited resources and outdated policies left many cases unresolved. Overworked detectives faced impossible caseloads, and the system struggled to keep up with the growing mountain of evidence. The survivor lived with uncertainty, while the attacker remained unidentified. Each day brought new doubts, and each night brought the same fear. Would the truth ever come to light? The backlog of untested kits became a silent crisis, growing larger with every passing year. Behind every sealed kit was a person waiting for closure, for justice, for peace. For law enforcement, new crimes took priority, and old cases slipped further from reach. The urgent demands of the present often overshadowed the unfinished business of the past. The evidence was preserved, but without a suspect, it was like a key with no lock, waiting for the right moment, the right person, to unlock its secrets. The world changed, technology advanced, and cities grew, but her case remained frozen in time. The faces in the photographs aged, but the questions stayed the same. It seemed the truth might be lost forever, buried beneath years of neglect and the weight of forgotten stories. Hope faded, but it never disappeared completely. But sometimes, justice finds a way. Even in the darkest moments, a spark of hope can ignite change, and a single decision can alter the course of a life. A new chapter was about to begin. Someone decided to look again, to ask new questions, to believe that answers were still possible. The past was not forgotten. With renewed determination, the search for truth and justice would begin once more. In 2022, Ventura County launched the Sexual Assault Kit Initiative. Their mission: test every untested kit, no matter how old. This was a promise to survivors that their cases still mattered. With federal and local funding, the county began a massive audit of evidence. Kits from decades past, including the 1994 case, were sent for advanced DNA testing. Scientists used modern techniques to extract a full DNA profile from the old evidence. For the first time in 28 years, the kit's secrets were revealed. The initiative was a message: no case is too old for justice. The DNA profile was ready to speak. The silent witness was finally heard. The search for the attacker was reignited. In 1994, a single DNA swab was carefully collected and stored, its significance not yet fully realized. Decades later, that same DNA profile was uploaded to CODIS, the National DNA Database, a vast network connecting law enforcement agencies across the country. This database holds the potential to link crimes, identify suspects, and bring long-awaited answers to victims and their families. The process is meticulous, requiring scientists to extract, analyze, and compare genetic material, all in the hope of finding a match that could change everything. Then a breakthrough: Abraham Ramirez, age 55, whose DNA was already in the system from a prior conviction, was identified as a match. The notification appeared on the screen, a moment that would alter the course of the investigation forever. After nearly 3 decades of uncertainty, the survivor's attacker finally had a name and a face. The cold case file, once gathering dust, now had a living connection to the present. This breakthrough was more than just a scientific achievement. It was a testament to the survivor's unwavering courage and the critical importance of preserving evidence, even when hope seems distant. The Ventura County Initiative, dedicated to testing old and forgotten kits, proved that even the coldest cases could be solved. It showed that justice delayed does not have to mean justice denied. For the survivor, the news was nothing short of life-changing, a step toward closure, healing, and reclaiming a sense of safety that had been lost for so long. The relief was shared by family and friends who had supported her through years of uncertainty. Without the initiative and the dedication of those who refused to give up, this case would have remained just another unsolved file in a crowded evidence room, its story untold and its questions unanswered. This single swab, preserved through time and handled with care, unlocked answers that had been hidden for years. It became the key to unraveling a mystery and restoring hope. The impact of DNA testing was undeniable. It transformed the way investigators approached cold cases, offering new tools and renewed determination to seek justice for those who had waited too long. The case was no longer just a memory or a statistic. It became a call to action, inspiring others to advocate for change and to support the testing of every untested kit. The initiative's success became a beacon for other communities, showing what's possible when determination, science, and compassion come together. Justice, long delayed, was finally within reach. The courtroom echoed with the sense of resolution, and the word justice took on new meaning for everyone involved. And as the story spread, it was clear that this was only the beginning. The power of a single swab had changed one life, and could change countless more. The CODIS match did more than solve one case. Ramirez's DNA linked him to 4 unsolved sexual assaults in Phoenix, Arizona, spanning 15 years. A single DNA profile connected violent crimes across 2 states. The Phoenix cases, like Ventura's, had gone cold until now. Investigators from California and Arizona joined forces, sharing evidence and building a timeline. The DNA provided certainty. Detectives worked to connect the rest. The scope of the investigation expanded dramatically. CODIS broke down barriers linking crimes that might never have been connected. Ramirez's alleged pattern of violence was finally exposed. The web of crimes was being untangled. One kit had changed everything. The pursuit of justice was now nationwide. With DNA evidence in hand, Arizona authorities took the lead in prosecuting Ramirez. A grand jury indicted him on 11 felony counts, including sexual assault and kidnapping. The charges stemmed from 4 Phoenix attacks between 1998 and 2013. For the survivors, this was the breakthrough they'd waited decades for. Ramirez was extradited to Arizona to stand trial. The 1994 California case, though past the statute of limitations, was the key that unlocked it all. Solving one cold case brought justice to many. The ripple effect was profound. 5 women now had answers. The journey through the courts had begun. The message was clear: no one is forgotten. Justice can cross any border. The Ventura County Initiative is a model for the nation. Federal and local funding made it possible to test every kit, old and new. Each kit is carefully tracked, tested, and uploaded to CODIS. The process is meticulous, ensuring no evidence is overlooked. Identifying serial offenders makes communities safer and prevents future crimes. The initiative sends a warning: DNA evidence can catch you no matter how much time has passed. Testing every kit is an investment in justice and public safety. Survivors are given hope, and dangerous individuals are held accountable. The impact goes far beyond solving cases. The mission is ongoing, and the results speak for themselves. Every kit matters. The initiative also focuses on supporting survivors. A dedicated website lets survivors track their kits and access resources. Transparency gives them control and comfort in a process that often feels powerless. The site connects survivors to counseling, advocacy, and support groups. News of a breakthrough can reopen old wounds, so immediate help is available. The approach is holistic. Justice and healing go hand in hand. Survivors are no longer bystanders, they are informed participants. Their well-being is a top priority. The Ventura County model sets a new standard for victim support. Science and compassion work together. Justice is about more than convictions. It's about care. The Ventura County case proves that hope for justice should never be lost. DNA evidence can speak for the silenced even decades later. Testing backlogged kits is essential for solving crimes and preventing new ones. Supporting survivors is as important as forensic work. The Ventura County model integrates science and compassion. It's a promise kept to a survivor from 1994. And to all who wait for answers, justice and healing are possible no matter how much time has passed. For every survivor and family still waiting, this case is a beacon of hope. The pursuit of truth never ends. The promise of justice endures. One kit, one survivor, can change everything.